Well, Steve Arts 89. Well, I just saw this. I just heard about this. I didn't know it was happening. They're doing a series, of course, a streaming series for Tremors. It's not a remake. It's not a reboot. It's a continuation. It's a sequel. Basically, they're going back to... What's the name of the town again? Perfection. I was going to say Pleasantville. They're going back to Perfection. And all the surviving characters are going to come back, including Kevin Bacon, because he survived the first film, then disappeared because I guess they couldn't afford to pay him or he didn't want to do a sequel. But I guess things are a bit slower now, or I don't know, the money was good. But apparently he's going to come back and he's going to be picking up the character after, 3 decades? So I'm loving this because the first film was great. The second film was good as well. But, it had the main stars gone sort of feel about it. And then the third and fourth, fifth films, they were fun. One was bad. They made these weird little creatures from the graboids. I think that's what they're called. And it didn't really work. I'm like, you're missing the kind of point of everything. And then they went back to the large graboids again. I heard that they'd already done a series. I didn't see it. I don't know if I've seen all of Tremors. I think I saw up to the fifth film. I think there's one film I haven't seen, and I think there was a series, and it didn't do very well, and then it kind of got willowed. And I think that's why I haven't seen it, because it's not on anywhere. Or am I imagining things? I need to check that out. I just saw this literally on Facebook right in front of me. I'm like, oh my God, I have to talk about it. Sorry, I have my camera out because I was talking about other stuff. And yeah, just the idea of that, because I love the original. And it is one of the good things about all these reboots, and that is they do always, well, not always, but they often go back, get the original actors, pull them back out, and you get to see some continuation or expansion of the original film or the original whatever made the franchise in the first place, what made it successful. And even if they don't do a good job of it, it's still fun just to go back and to see these characters and just to know when you watch the film that it's not the end of it, there is actually more. And the people's stories went on and that, and it creates like a legacy and a longevity and an expansion of those, franchise and universe. And usually I think it's a good thing. It's not often that something's so bad it takes away from the original or whatever. I mean, even the people who hate the new Star Wars stuff, it's not as bad as they say and going on about it. It's really not. They just need their drama porn and they need their hate clicks, and the rest are all haters and that. So they're there for their agendas. But for the most part, these shows are not bad. Even God knowing, I don't know. Even like Strange New Worlds, if it was just a generic sci-fi show, it wouldn't be that bad. It's just because it's supposed to be Star Trek that it fails. And the other shows, like I said, I'm not as bothered by them now because they have established there are different universes and different timelines. So you're not actually supposed to believe that there's a direct continuation of Kirk and Spock from the original series in that universe. So I'm not as bothered by it on that level. And that was the only thing that really bothered me originally. The writing, the characters, the acting, none of that really bothered me. It was just the idea of the canon issues and, the idea of doing the same sort of thing. I got off track there a bit with Tremors and just expanding it like they did with Star Wars and other shows where they've just done series, and I have no problem with it because, like I said, none of these shows have been so bad that I can think of that I couldn't watch them and didn't find something that benefited or something that I got out of expanding it. And you don't have to watch them. You can always just watch the original films if you don't want to watch whatever follow-up miniseries, series, sequels, whatever there are. You don't have to watch them. You don't have to acknowledge them. But if you enjoy them, then it just expands everything. And recently, last year for May the 4th, I watched all the Star Wars films and the special features and all that, and it took a couple of days, and it's the first time I really felt immersed in the Star Wars universe like I normally do with Star Trek, because pretty much any TV series, season of Star Trek takes a couple of days to watch, really. And there's always that immersion of the universe that I always loved about Star Trek, whereas Star Wars never really had that, because for me it was like 3 films, then it was 6 films. Now it's gotten to 9, or 11, or 12 or something now. And knowing that the series and that are there as well, it just lets you really sink into the universe and look at different corners. And like I said, I'm not as bothered and triggered by some people by them. I'm just not. So I don't think they deserve most of the criticism that they get. Some they do. But for the most part, people have their own agendas and issues, and that's more of what they're about. And critics in general, just the negative and hate stuff. So, as a fan, I actually like watching most of these shows, and I've enjoyed most of these shows, and have found a lot of the criticisms to just be unfair, and being frustrated myself for listening to some of those criticisms and putting off watching shows and not giving them a chance, and then finally watching them and realising that, oh, that was just a bunch of haters talking crap. Damn, this is actually fun. And why wouldn't you want that as opposed to, the other option, hate? So I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Tremors as a continuing on, of the original films as a TV series. I really am just in the moment excited about that and looking forward to it.